Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to set up the new Sainsmart 4th axis rotary in Lightburn. The first thing that we need to do, whether we're using Lightburn or Fusion or VCarve, is to set up the steps for the router or for the rotary. So first we need to go to the console. You can use the one in Lightburn, you can use Candle. And we need to check for the $1.03 value. So I'm going to type in $, and scroll up and find my $1.03 value. What you are looking for is 177.777. If it does not have that value, then you can type in $1.03 equals 177.777 and press enter. It should say OK. And then you can check it again and make sure your values are correct. Okay, we are all set. The next thing we need to do is we need to check to make sure that it will revolve all the way around once and that our steps are correct. To do that, we need to make some kind of mark here on top. You can use some blue tape and you can draw a line. You can use a pencil. I did that before, just really light with a pencil and draw a line. I'm going to be a little bit girly and use some washi tape. And the thickness of your line will depend on how accurate you really want this. So I cut my washi tape. And on the control, I'm going to type in G92 space A for the A axis and 0. And that should say OK. And then from there, I'm going to type in A for the A axis and 360. And it should go around all the way and meet up back with the tape. Okay, perfect. Everything looks good. So from here we can remove our tape and we can get burning. Our next step is to set up our material on the rotary. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put in my stock. This is just a 1-inch poplar dowel. I'm going to carefully, just very gently put the tailstock so it holds it with enough pressure that it won't fall, but can still move. That way I can use 2 hands to tighten up the chuck. This way I don't have to worry if it's centered or not. It will move into center once I tighten everything up. Okay, it's nice and tight, and then I can tighten up the tailstock a little bit. Don't tighten it too much, otherwise you can split the end grain of your stock. Next, I'm going to get the rotary set up in Lightburn. If you go into Lightburn, you can either click on this little circle with the arrows or go to Laser Tools and Rotary Setup. We want to use the chuck. We need to enable the rotary, enable mirror output to rotary. Otherwise, everything will be upside down and backwards. We also want our A axis selected. And for the object diameter, this one is about 1 inch. And I'm actually going to go in and change something really quick. One thing that I did find is that if you have your units displayed in inches, the rotary will not work correctly. We need to make sure that it is set in millimeters. Otherwise, there's a translation difference for some reason and your graphics will not come out correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to millimeters and go back in here to edit the rotary. Diameter, I've got 26.2. So 26.20 millimeters. And from here we can test. We can press the test button and Lightburn should rotate the rotary all the way around in one direction and then back in the other direction. Okay, everything looks good. I am going to make sure it's the correct size. And because I'm in the US, I'm still working on these millimeters, so I'm going to go ahead and change it to inches and check. It is 3 inches long, so that should be fine with the material that I have, and almost a ½ inch high. To make that a little bit smaller, I'm going to do it at 0.3 inches. That way it doesn't take as long to burn. Okay, I want to make sure that my current position, or I'm starting from my current position and not absolute control. You can set it to any job origin. I have it set in the middle here and on the left-hand side. You want to make sure that your mode is set to fill. I have found out if you send it to line, it won't work. It will get hung up in certain spots and will start burning holes into your material. I have my speed and power all set. And then I'm going to move my laser in place. You can use either the controls for the laser for the CNC in Lightburn, or you can use the controller. I'm going to try to get this as close to the middle as I possibly can. I like to keep the guard on my laser raised when I do this so it won't hit the chuck when it's moving back and forth. It gives it just enough room to clear the chuck and I don't have to worry about it getting smashed. Okay, from here I'm going to go ahead and just do this by hand. I'm just putting the dowel on the surface of the material and checking the height. I'm going to go ahead and move this in place over to the left-hand side. And then I'm going to frame to make sure I have the correct positioning. Oh, look at that. I forgot. Good mistake to show you. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. Let it go around a bit longer. See how it just keeps going? That's because I forgot to switch this back to millimeters. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to go ahead and frame. Now it's working. Okay, we're all set. Go ahead and put on my glasses and start her up.